Hi Aquarius, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2016. This is going to be, I think, an interesting month, astrologically speaking, and we'll just have to sit back and watch what the results will be. So we're getting two eclipses. The first one is solar eclipse on September the 1st in Virgo, and the second one is a lunar eclipse on September the 16th in Pisces. We're also seeing the move of Jupiter out of Virgo and into Libra, which will put Jupiter in a very good angle to your sun sign for the subsequent 12 months. So this solar eclipse is about things coming together into a moment of completion, and then opening the way to make change. There is a new moon here, so it's time for change. And this is happening in an area of what you are pooling, sharing, pooling resources with another, in an area of not having sole control over material security and assets, sharing those, or there is another agency or somebody you know personally contributing to that. So this is related to joint interest, joint finances, joint property, and it's related to other resources as well, including what you share together in the way of passion, in the way of emotion, in the way of feeling for another as well. So it's time maybe to put your cards on the table here. The thing about the eclipse is that there is a large seeding of energy which then starts to unfurl over the subsequent 6 months. It can be longer, but we'll just say here in a general way until the next eclipse, which will be in 6 months from this eclipse. It's a very windy day here in the north of the British Isles, as you can see out there. So anything that's happening on the day of the eclipse, the position of the eclipse in a chart, and also other planets close by degree to the eclipse, will then get woven into this amazing, powerful vibration, and will be pushed through on this wave through the subsequent 6 months. So at the time of the eclipse, we're getting the Sun and the Moon together opposite Neptune and at right angles to Mars and Saturn. Also, in a lesser way, there are two planets in the mix, even though they're not close to the degree, Mars and Jupiter. Mercury and Jupiter in Virgo, in the sign of the eclipse. So this is a time for you to put your cards on the table to say, okay, how are we going to get ourselves organized here as we go on into the future, listening more to your gut instinct. A great time to question emotional patternings, past conditioning maybe as well. During the solar eclipse, with the Sun and the Moon in the angle to Mars and Saturn and Neptune. I spoke a little bit about this last month when I was speaking about Saturn and Neptune, which is a long-term transit going on in our skies. This is quite a fearful energy. We have seen evidence of it around. It's like decisions are taken in a dubious way, based upon little in the way of strong, solid proof. It was a difficult transit to have in the skies when people were voting to come out of the EU in the UK, and it is a difficult transit to have in the skies when we have to make like major decisions, either for our country or for ourselves, because it can be a bit slippery, a bit there are hidden things here. So there's uncertainties. Now, those of you born in the few days near the end of the month, say the last week of the month of January, and the first week of February, will feel this eclipse energy the most. All those of you born from 4 to 15 degrees you'll be feeling the energy the most. But it can cause people to go running off with the wrong idea or the wrong ideology, or working very hard for somebody else's ideology, and it all collapses later on. It all goes to worms, or it's like, why did I put so much energy into that? Because it was based upon not a great deal. So this is the kind of thing going on. Now, of course, if you're listening to this forecast here, you will be informed about this rather sort of hard to handle, tricky energy. The Saturn-Neptune transit does bring indecision and uncertainty into things, and does impair judgment. So you have Saturn in actually a really good angle to your sun sign. That's a plus. And at the time of the eclipse, with Mars and Saturn together, both of them will be in a good angle to your sun sign. So that definitely will mean that even though the planets aren't the ones that make decisions or have opinions or biases, we would tend to get the more positive side of the vibration, because it's always according to the angle of a planet to a natal planet or important point, or the sun, that we then pick up on that energy, and then we have a reaction to that energy. So for you, Mars and Saturn will be showing their slightly better sides. However, Mars and Saturn together are a tough nut to crack, really. Having said that, because you're getting the positive side of them, then you can be very sort of motivated to take the long view, to work towards something, to build something in your life. And this will be probably in the area of of friends, of groups, of contacts. There could be tensions between you and another, but this is a time to be cultivating people. And don't be hasty in your decisions, don't be impatient, because with Mars and Saturn together, which is going to be picked up by the eclipse and pushed through for the coming 6 months, then you have to be progressive, and they will be in a very progressive area at a good, positive, beneficial even angle to your sun sign. But it means, sort of like steady, incremental, gradual progress. Okay, now Neptune is in the sign after yours, that's Pisces, and that means that because these two are close and going to be picked up and emphasized by the eclipse, that there's an opportunity for you to push forwards with plans or a long cherished hope, to do with assets, to do with property, finances, anything around material security stuff. But do this in a clear-headed, grounded, methodical, disciplined way, because the chances of somebody getting the wrong end of the stick, or somebody getting the wrong idea, or getting in a tangle or a muddle over these sorts of things is quite high at the moment. Okay, right. Now, the sun, as the month kicks off, is actually in a gear changing area. There could be a lot going on inside of you. You're being more introspective. You are figuring out which way to go. You're maybe discussions, ideas, even research. Is drilling down to the basics, is looking into things, is researching things, is thinking about fundamentals and sussing things out. And transition tends to occur, and it will occur through mutual action with or challenge from another, and your value structure or your instinct will tell you the way to go. And you can hear somebody out in the woods cutting wood there, because the wind's so strong, it's sort of bringing it in loud, and then it's fading away and it's coming in loud again. So those, and now Mercury is retrograde until the 22nd, so that means that you get into the underlying issues, but there could be delays, you could be kept waiting, maybe with bated breath sometimes. Until the 24th, Venus encourages warm, more supportive relationships with those far away or from a different cultural background, maybe somebody, or it could be somebody you consult with who's got specialist knowledge. It could be that you and somebody, you team up together in a way where you are on quite a learning curve, or you are both of you reaching out into unfamiliar territory. So travel could be coming in here, or something to do with education. And then Venus moves on the 24th, and you get more opportunities then to benefit from connections with people in high places. They are more likely to be well disposed towards you and helping you with your plans and your ambitions. So if you have to go to somebody sort of, cap in hand, as it were, because they have a position in society where they can help you, then from the 24th, they're more likely to be able to help you. You're more likely to click with them. That's what I mean. Also, the other way around, if you're the one in the position of responsibility and authority, somebody is more likely to, you're more likely to be able to help somebody who comes to you for assistance. I can see the camera is bouncing up and down here because the wind is so strong, probably hitting the floor underneath the caravan, so apologies for that. It's quite nice though to have the winds blowing this strongly. I never mind when they're about like this. It's when they start blowing roofs off that maybe I get a little bit worried. But at the moment it's under control. Everything's good. So right, so now Mars moves on the 27th and goes into a very background area, finally gets back into his stride with his normal cycle, because actually so far this year Mars has been mostly in Scorpio and Sagittarius, keeping him just emphasizing two areas of your life. And that would have been your career area and your general direction in life, and cultivating of people, getting to know your place in the pecking order, etc., etc., but also making progress with whatever you want to be making progress with, and maybe going into some unusual areas that you've never really thought about before. And then we have Mars in this background area for about 6 weeks. This is a more introspective time for you. You're mulling things over. You're more sensitive as well, probably. You're touchier. And this is a time for nurture and for healing. So if you need anything checked out, or help with anything through practices, good practices or remedies, then this is the time to do that. And your energies are quite turned inwards, so just be a bit more self-protective until Mars comes into your sign, which it will do next after roughly 6 weeks. New potentials are in the wind from the 23rd. The sun comes out of this more introspective area, and then you're feeling more outgoing and expansive, and this boosts the spirits. It's a faster vibration, and it's a great time to take a break, actually. Until the 9th, Jupiter is in your joint financial area, and materially life could have been growing and expanding through the contribution of another that you've teamed up with, or key associations. So this can mean more money, possessions, improved physical conditions made available to you through a key relationship, whether that's somebody in your personal life or an outside agency. Aquarians born from the 15th of February or from 27 degrees rising are going to feel the energy of that mostly this month, and also Saturn, I didn't mention that. That will be those of you born the 28th to the 31st of January with 9 to 12 degrees rising, and also for Neptune, those of you born on, in the same degrees and dates will feel it the most, the 28th of January to the 31st of 28th to the 31st of January. Those of you born around about then, also for Neptune. Now, from the 9th, Jupiter moves, having completed its year-long transit in this previous area of joint finances, joint property, and also joint feelings coming together maybe with another. And Jupiter then goes into a very strong house for Jupiter, the 9th house in your solar chart, there until October 2017, and you'll have the opportunity then to push the envelope of life, get out of the known and into the unknown. It's an area of adventure. It will broaden your horizons, and growth can come through travel, foreign connections, academia, in many ways. I mean, whatever is less familiar to you, and it clicks really strongly with your Aquarian sun. And so this can be quite a beneficial transit for you, also to do with politics and the law, as well as other things like broadcasting, publications, etc., etc. This is an expansive phase, and the boundaries of your known world are due to stretch into new fields. You Aquarians born in the first days of your sign, or up to 6 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most, and that's it for this month. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those, and also you can read some of this material, or all of this material actually, well, some, because I alter it as I'm speaking it, but the basics of this material on DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time. Woo, that's windy.